Hi Capricorn, this is your reading for the first week of September 2022. Now the overall energy for the whole month of September for you talks about male energy coming in, perhaps a paternal figure or a grandfather, someone in a position of authority or responsibility. But perhaps they're the type of person that hasn't cultivated that emotional strength and that personal commitment to situations. Now, this may be someone in your life who's trying to improve a relationship in their life, and that may be with a father or a grandfather, an uncle, a brother, okay? But also is someone who possibly was not emotionally connected to a son, okay? And this is what it's talking about. The whole month of September, it's like someone, a male energy, is trying to form a natural bond with perhaps a father or a grandfather, and they're having a hard time to connect because of that emotional disconnect within that relationship, okay? Now, it does talk about a father figure who possibly was absent emotionally, or maybe they were distant, maybe they lived at a distance. It does talk about someone who was uninvolved with their children. And, you know, when this comes up a lot of the times, the children grieve. Like, this is an actual physical aspect of having a bad relationship with a paternal figure, and perhaps a child, maybe yourself, Capricorn. Maybe you are dealing with a father who is absent or emotionally distant or uninvolved in your life. And it does talk about having to grieve this loss, okay? This loss of trust or togetherness. And the result basically talks about emotional neediness or the inability to show affection in the right way in relationships in your life, okay? Now, it could also talk about someone who is unsuitable to become a father or to become connected in a relationship because they don't have the ability to connect on an emotional level, okay? Now, as you're moving into the first, that was the energy card. So the whole month of September, you're basically trying to work on possibly a relationship with a father or grandfather to form a connection to them, but you're having a hard time. It could be the other way around. You could be the male energy and someone could be trying to form a bond with you and is having a disconnect in that energy. Now, as you're moving into the first couple of days of that first week, it does talk about a message about money coming in. There's a message about money from someone who's very practical, okay? It could be an earth sign individual, someone who's very cautious and productive. And they're very loyal to their friends and their family. Might be a student, someone who indeed is achieving in school or is enrolled in a program of study, okay? Now, it's someone who is very serious-minded and they have a very fair sense of judgment. Perhaps this is the type of child that took a responsibility at an early age, maybe got into work at an early age, okay? Now, it does talk about a phone call, a letter, an email that's going to transmit practical information or notice of money that's coming to you, and that is coming from an earth sign individual, okay? It could even talk about you getting involved, Capricorn, in hobbies or collections, perhaps inheriting collections that are worth money, okay? Now, it does talk about you being preoccupied with your health, exercise, diet. Perhaps you're getting into herbalism or yoga or Ayurvedic medicine. It does talk about vitamin therapy. You're getting involved heavily in vitamin therapy. It also talks about educational training and on-the-job training in a new job that you're moving into. So it does talk about hesitance in making a decision, perhaps pertaining to a new job that you're getting involved in, or a decision basically where you're having to decide whether you're going to get involved in Ayurvedic medicine or maybe you're going to go for surgery. You're going to be given two choices of how to deal with something, and possibly you're going to have to choose between surgery, which will take care of it quickly, and maybe a more holistic method that might take care of it slowly but won't have as many dangers, okay? Now, it also talks about taking the needs of someone else over yours at this point in time, and thinking about other people. But it also talks about people in your life who they're not willing to help you or to compromise in some way. And they lack that understanding of your belief system, okay? So they don't want to help you. Now, it does talk about a relationship between two people, and it does talk about the male energy and the female energy, and maybe what's good for one partner is not good for the other. And that's what's coming up at this point in time, okay? It may even talk about a scholarship. Someone's being offered a scholarship, or perhaps an educational system in a new place, or a new job in a new location. And in some way, that's going to affect a relationship that is taking place either in your life or possibly in the life of someone that you know and care for. It might even talk about a parental figure that's moving, possibly moving for work. And perhaps you are a child of a parental figure that's moving and getting involved in a new area or a new location. And it will affect that relationship that you have with that person. But it does talk about outside activities coming into play as you're moving into the second week. So let's see what else is going to take place. There is a decision you're going to have to make in that first week about money, about health, about possibly an operation, about possibly a relocation, and indeed, certainly about a relationship. So let's see what takes place in the second week. Namaste.